yesterday, we saw that most of the indices in US closed on a new high. Talk of S&P, talk of NASDAQ, talk of even Dan Joe. Good news for the market across the globe that even when the tariff news has kind of sent some negative sentiment, you can see that it didn't be ease in the system. That even in US economy, where we're saying that the impact of this tariff going to it, then we can see that their inflation is already slowing down. We saw a mine inflation figure that came from that environment, and that has kind of spread across the globe, that it has signaled the possibility of what of a Fed cutting rate come September, and that is good news for what for that economy, and also that in global sense. It good for me. It's a good news that tell you that every investor should pay attention to what to economic data, because these are the things that the economic managers, especially those that are in charge of hiking rate or no or cutting rate, or those that take decision that will drive economy expansion or contraction. That is why rate is very, very important in any economy. You must pay attention to where is the rate direction, because that will also trigger circular flow of funds from either from equity market to money market, or from fixed income market to what to equity market and other investment windows across the globe. For me, you must pay attention to rate, because that is how what drive economic expansion or contraction. And that's why anytime you're looking at to see what is happening in the economy, you pay attention to your inflation, interest rate, exchange rate, and what GDP, which is your that is what we call the output of the economy, productivity of that economy. That's your GDP, you must to know. And it is this inflation and interest rate that drive what productivity. That's why everywhere, anytime, any day, all eyes on what on interest rate, because that will tell you where the economy will going from that particular point. Yes, if you look at, I said, Asia market is looking green as we speak right away, and good news for most of the markets in that region are also in green. I would say that Japan index is hitting a new all-time high of 43,000 points. For me, it's a good one. And don't forget that Japan has also signed their deal with what with US, and also I believe that's also another plot. Even when there's a fear of a rate hike in Japan, but the market there is stable, because we are seeing that activities has improved in Japan. Good one. What that of China? I'll tell you that most of the Chinese indices are also in green. Three of them are in green as we speak. Even South Korea. Good news as all these positive data that came, and also considering also the job report earlier that signaled that the positivity of rate cuts across the globe is there, and that is what is driving the market. And it comes to US as we speak now. US market, I will tell you, is also on the what on extension of what happened yesterday. At this midweek, the US market is also strong in green. We are seeing many factors that are driving that US, because all eyes are on expectation that rate will be cut come September, because of the inflation figure that were released yesterday, and that comes below expectation, because that also will trigger rate cut. That has put a lot of momentum in the market. We saw different sector in that market, in US market, closing up yesterday, and that trend has continue this hour as we speak. And also the news of perpetuity AI offer to buy Google Chrome browser for almost 34.5 billion. That's why I see tech companies will continue to watch up because of AI. We're seeing opportunity in that industry. That's why in Nigeria here, most of our companies are into tech business. We need to pay attention to them, because most of them also expanding their work, their horizon, their business frontier, so that they can do more payment in Nigeria. That tells us that we must look at which sector should be investing for the future. But I believe that no matter what we say, as we are going into tech world, we need to also look at companies that will support that tech world. Even the banking sector, the insurance sector, they all need tech to run their business to make more money. That means those companies that are supporting that background of all these banks are going to make money, because they're going to do it free for all these big banks or big insurance companies. Now in Nigeria, our banks are becoming bigger. Insurance is already on that way to also become bigger. We expect that most companies that are into a tech company in Nigeria will earn more money, and also government also want to drive their revenue with tech, both state and federal. This is an opportunity for tech company in Nigeria to make money. That means I'm coming back to Nigeria. Let's finish our US market. Then going to Africa. No, sorry, for example, let's go what's happening also in Europe market. Europe market has also followed the trend we have seen in Asia and also in US. Europe market is also looking green. For me, it's a good one. Also, don't forget that before I said that most companies on Europe zone have posted positive number just to absorb even what is happening in terms of up and down style policy direction of Trump. But now that we expect that the outcome of the US and the China will currently give a stop to all this tariff, and also now that also the US and Russia are meeting today. No, for peace talk to end this Ukraine war. It's a plus for the global economy, even as oil price will remain a bit stable because of all eyes are going to see the outcome of that meeting. And also, don't forget that Eurozone also are trying to post more sanction on Iran because of what the nuclear talk and all those stuff. For me, investors are looking at what is happening around all the globe, and that will also guide us here in Africa, also in Nigeria. Back to African market. African market remains strong, and it's for me, I'm not surprised. No, Africa have taken advantage of what is happening in global economy to look inward and start strengthening the economy with policies that will kind of hand the economy to the indigenous to start running their things. Why the white, the foreign will come also should also sit up in Nigeria. All this was seen that is all gripping up. Also should also sit up in Nigeria. All this was seen that is all gripping up. Hope should not also turn the other way. They should find way to sustain all these policies they are making so that on the long run, Nigeria will be a better place to attract flow of funds, both the local investors and foreign investors to drive our market. We have seen a lot of reform that will support the equity market, support the capital market, support the economy generally, that at the end of the day, we'll see economy that is what that is thriving. And when the economy is thriving, the market will also strive. And as I speak, as the market is also going up like this, I think that it's an indicator that we're going to see a better economy. But we'll say that anywhere in the world, that stock market is a leading indicator that tells you what is happening. You can see that our economy is also, as our market is jumping on a daily basis, something also is happening for good. That means you must pay attention to what is happening in the market. That's your market trend is very, very key. And today we're looking at how to trade momentum on the NGX, focusing on what is happening in the insurance sector. And I believe that the market have been so bullish, and now we're seeing that another momentum that is also coming up now in the insurance sector, which also I would like every one of us in this market or in this class to pay attention, because this momentum has a way of also impacting the market positively. We can see that today, if you look at the market index as we speak now, market is already up, with marginal point about 0.7 up now in the green. After the market is almost 146,210.20. Yes, market is in the green. Good news for the market, and market breadth is positive, strong positive. That there's fund entering the market. When we come to that, we also look at it when we're looking at momentum also. But to speak now, if you look at market data, I told you market is in green. We're having 45 gainers right away against 12 losers as to speak. For me, it's a good news for the market at this point, and that's why we must pay attention to what is happening in the market, not really just investing. We must look at where fund is flowing. And good news that we're having only just 12 decliner and 45 gainers, and this is just afternoon. It's a lot of potential in the market, and we're seeing that the insurance stocks are the one not dominating the market right now, and others just coming up. They tell you that there's something happening in that industry, and how can you and I take advantage of it? And that is what we want to discuss, and that's what we want to go now. We want to go to our topic for today. How to invest with momentum is very, very important. This one will come and now chart every other one that's not the top one. How to trade NGX momentum as insurance stocks record new highs. You can see that most original I think have what you call it 52 years. Like most of them are 5 years high, but good news that they are recording highs. For me, it's a good one. But let's go to our topic today. What is momentum? We want to look at momentum is a strategy that we use when we are seeing that there is a movement in stocks. And what are the things that drive this momentum? News can be one of the factors can drive momentum. Expectation, also result, any can drive momentum. But when we are investing in momentum, it is at this time that we are paying more attention to the market direction or the stock direction. That is why it's called momentum. Trend is what you are trading. And you can see that recently we have seen that trend in the market has remained positive. For me, it's a good one for the market that trend have remained positive as we speak now. It says that yes, things are really happening in the market, because for the past many months now, our market has been up, but now we're seeing a weakening movement in what an insurance company. There's something behind that, because I was saying that market players tend to pay more attention on stocks or the market that is moving on one direction, just as insurance stocks are today having a new momentum. And this has a lot of the news momentum that as a lot of what the president recently signed inflation insurance reform act into law, which also have kind of authorized new reputation in that industry. Don't forget that when a company is structuralizing, it's having more foot or more solid footing to drive its business. So also we are seeing in insurance and the banking sector also going on want to start work with insurance. Insurance also might start from either late 2026 or after the bank has finished their own around April next year. But I believe that this is an opportunity for for investors of market to take advantage of what is happening in both in consumer sector, the financial sector, which is bank and the insurance. Look at what's happening in service sector, other like aviation, investment, life of what's happening other financials and all that, and also even the agricultural sector and the oil and gas. We need to pay attention and all this. These are how to work to maximize trend in the market. But I believe that we will do more by getting to know how this momentum work and take advantage of it anytime, any day. You must pay attention to it. I will tell you that for the last 8 days, we are seeing a strong momentum in insurance company, which also have supported the market to remain resilient. Even when market pulled back on Friday, we saw that yes, as we speak, yesterday and today, we are seeing that on Monday to today, we are seeing that market trying to consolidate, and anytime market break out the peak that it touched before pulling back on Friday, what's mean that as a new trend will start on another move. You must pay attention to all this. But that is the only way you can know what is happening in the market. Because with that, as a trader investor, you know insight of what also is ongoing in the market that will help you to make what informed investment decision. You must understand this, and I believe that as the insurance company are being transformed, we'll see a lot of business in that industry that will expand, their earnings at the end of the day. It is these earnings that we investors are paying attention to. Well, that is the only way. Also, because also market has opened for insurance company, with their capitalization, they can do a lot of things, manage their risk, expand their premium pool by going into other coverage. Like now, I've said it in one of the program that with this new act now, no house in Nigeria, not be happening that we not going to have insurance. Even the government will start themselves. All the assets of government, all the people of government have to insure. This will put a lot of fund, in insurance cover. And also any gadget you are using these days now, all those we want to cover it. And I believe that these are more way that bank insurance people can make money with also implementation of the motor insurance and all that. There's a lot of way this insurance can make money because they collect pool of fund and invest, and they will still make investment in this market that is going up. Also, I believe that there's an opportunity for them. So I mean, for the insurance to capitalize, I see that it's going to be a successful event for them, and that will make them more solid to cover more ground in their business, and they become more efficient, and also capital to cover higher risk will also be available there. But if you want to trade momentum, there are things that you want to consider when trading momentum. You don't just trade momentum for trading sake. Momentum comes in what we call short momentum and long momentum. The short momentum can last for just a day, 2 days. But now we are seeing a momentum that have lasted in the insurance sector for almost 8 days. The market momentum that we have seen have lasted more than 2 months. Where the market, that means when you understand this kind of momentum, you now know how to trade them. If you are trading a short momentum, you are going to look at short-term time frames, like 1 hour a day maximum for short momentum to see, because this momentum most likely can be a lot of news or policy statement or all. But if you are seeing a long momentum in the market, you have to apply what your long-term time frames to trade that momentum. That is considering a day chart, weekly chart, and monthly chart, and people can see both an NGX and what is happening in the insurance sector, that we can do that. And that's why before I go further, we have seen this momentum now on this market. Let me quickly call out some momentum indicators that I want to use here. Also, I want to explain them as time goes on this class. But I want to call up other momentum before we go and look at what insurance index to see the momentum there, how strong it is. That will tell you so how far these stocks, insurance stocks to go. But I believe that there's still potential for them to, even when there's a slowdown in some cost of profit taking, don't panic, because I see that most of them will go as high as 5 naira, even above. Those that are selling below 5 naira. For those that are close 5 naira, they're likely to stop 10 naira and 15 naira. Look at the life of Masa today or the life of NEM today. Yes, there might be different categories of insurance company, but I'll tell you that with the art, with this insurance company are power to work to make more money at the end of the day. If we look at the insurance, look at insurance index right now, that will get the let's look at insurance index of the market. Let's look at insurance index of the market so that you can see, understand what I mean. Let's look at the insurance index. That will give us inside. We have seen the market now. I want to quickly to look at the insurance index. What is going on there? That will be a plus for us. Once able to get the index now, we are good to go. You can see, yeah, let's start with this insurance index, NGX now. You can see our insurance index. For how many days you can see this is a day chart. You can see the galloping here. How sharp it is on this chart. And I will tell you that, oh sorry, this has to be with 8 days moving average. The T line I use for my class. I will also use it here. T line is 8 days moving average exponential. Let's change this to 8. Don't know why the thing is taking time to change. Okay, let me continue with my discussion. You can see that there's a strong momentum here in this index for the insurance. The insurance, you can see how it's jumping. You can see that volume also have come out, but recently the volume also dropping. You can see that it's below the average traded volume. Otherwise, experiencing above it. Then you can see that MACD is very, very positive, and money flow is high. You can see 96. And then fund is international. That's why when there was profit taking the market on Friday, I think that some of these funds find their way to the insurance position, while others to profit, which is part of the market. You can see that the state of the market right now, and this is for a day. If you look at the 1 hour chart, like I told you that if it's a short-term momentum, you look at just 1 hour to a day for short-term momentum for day traders at all. You can see that how it is now. 1 hour momentum, you can see that even for today, you can see that in the last 1 hour, you can see that the stock the index is still very, very high. You can see that MACD is very, very bullish. The momentum is high here. You can see it here. That's why I see the blue lines are above the T line, and your histogram is also going up. After coming down, you can see that it's also sitting up on a 1 hour. But money flow is looking down gradually on a 1 hour chart. For me, that is that profit taking activities. You can also see that it's part of the market. Profit taking in some of this insurance stock. That's why there are some of them are becoming available, while some are still not in the market. I see that this stock will stay, stock in that sector will still go up. That means you must pay attention to those companies that you know that will able to survive in that in that journey. But I tell you earlier that this journey of recapitalization will also commence in 2026. They can't be going by two with that of what is happening in the insurance in banking recapitalization as we speak now. That means all eyes will be on what will come up at the end of the day in terms of activities of recapitalization of the banking industry. That's why we must pay attention to see once the banking sector recapitalization is winding down, we're going to see more of insurance come come 2026 by God grace on them. Then we are going back to see how to trade momentum indicator. There are different strategies you can use to trade momentum indicator, and how also you can use to make informed investment decision in your trading plan or your trading activities. You must take advantage of that as you are paying attention to this momentum, it will help you to really know exactly what to do when you are trading. After that, we can now say this is where we are going in terms of what our decision. And that's why we must pay attention to this kind of position in the market. That is the only way you and I can stay ahead of what is happening. Momentum and volatility are very key when you are trading or when you are investing, because you need to understand what is happening in the general market where you are trading to stay ahead of that market or to make what informed investment decision. Just as we are waiting for the index to come on board, yes, you can see this is the whole index now. For the market, you can see this is the index. But looking at this, we want to look at how to trade momentum. The first thing you look at here is that when you want to trade momentum, you want to use momentum to see a breakout. Breakout is very, very important. And every of us in this class understand that I don't play with a breakout, especially when the market has gone to a point that turned to be what a resistance level, either 2 times or 3 times. When you touch that, it comes down. You now look at that breakout. The day market or the index or price action break out that resistance on a strong volume, and you see that fund that is a what breakout momentum. At that time you are jumping because you understand the momentum have changed. I got there before it come down, but now a breakout has come. You follow that momentum also to trade. Another one that is also the what we call trend following momentum. That's also a strategy. As we are seeing this rally in the insurance company, you can see that everybody is trying to sell and go to insurance company. That is called trend following. You have to follow the trend as it's going on, but you need to look at some indicators that will help you, and that's why you must pay attention to your moving average. Crossover is very, very important to consider the opportunity to buy. that means this trend has confirmed a jump in. You can go ahead and buy. But if you look at the general market now, even when it is trending, you see that the histogram of MACD is already also telling that the market is also crossing once it crosses now, like I said, it has signal a bearish MACD, which tells that market might likely come down. Now also you can see also that the blue one is also crossing on a daily chart, and you can see also that market is trending, which I said consolidation. If you remember what I wrote this week, on Monday and Tuesday, market consolidating is not a crime, but part of market what dynamics. When market is consolidating, at that time market is waiting for what another trigger, gathering momentum. But if you pull back, that is even more better. As they pull back, more strength in market is gathering to gather more energy or fuel. Let me use that one. And when it comes up, it breaks out the resistance and continue the trend. But if also when market is consolidating, also once able to get another information or a trigger as it breaks out up or down, it's also a great opportunity for you to take decision. Either you are waiting to break down so you can buy more, or break out to jump in. These are things that you also pay attention when you're trading. Another one that you can't trade momentum without using what RSI. That means relative strength index. You must look at it, and relative index has its own rule. Some people set their relative between 20 and 80, while 70 and 30. Anything that is above 70, is what we call overbought. And the market has been overbought region for a long time. Even looking at your money flow index, you can equally read it out because they are all part of momentum indicator. But why money flow I use as an exception is that money flow tells me what activities already. Why other indicators are telling me what has happened, money flow will tell you where fund is entering. So that you also can look at that way, because that where fund is entering is where you are about to see what new trend. Because why? When fund entering yesterday, there's momentum, there is demand, there's sentiment for that stock or the market. That's why you must pay attention to money flow anytime, any day. That money flow is very, very clear. That's why institutional investor, if you want to monitor them, look at money flow to know when fund is entering. Or for also most of these investors today, they chart all this, they know where fund is entering and also where fund is leaving. And when fund is entering, there's volume and there's liquidity. I'll tell you that kind of stock will always rally up. Like what we are saying in insurance sector. Also, don't be greedy. Even when the momentum is still strong, know when to catch your profit, because it is when the inflation is high you can take profit, not when but for now, I see that even ahead of their timetable that will come out any moment from now, where to how to go about the action. Already we have seen that the action is in different phases: 25 billion, 15 billion, and 10 billion for different categories of insurance company. For me, that's not news again. For when to start and when to close is very, very important. We know that bank loan is 2 years, started last year, to end up also this year on the next year, April. We know the time frame. We also need that kind of time frame that also guide investors and traders on how to do this. How to trade momentum, the strategy to use your breakout strategy, trend following. Also, like I said, that moving average, crossover is very, very important, and your error side to count where to jump in, also when to jump out. Yes, because of our time, we quickly go to what the market is doing and look at also those individual stocks that are leading. They still have momentum to continue. We need to also put that in perspective. It's very, very important. Yes, we have seen that the insurance companies are the one leading now. We'll start with what the strength to see if Cornhole will also continue. Also, before I forget, also you can see that there is some momentum that is also moving Ella Lake. These are example of momentum movement. It's not because of Ella Lake has brought a number that is fantastic, but momentum, the price is going up because of that momentum. People are paying attention on that. But at this time, you as a design investor or trader, at this peak, is it the right time for you to have to trade caution? I will tell you, at this price, will it sustain? Even though they are coming to do the public offer at 15 naira, not that support at 15 naira, they're going to do at 20 naira, have to trade caution. But I will tell you that this is just market activity. I can see the president of what stockbrokers in this stock, because this I call it stockbrokers shares, because they are the one promoting and pushing Ella Lake. But you as a retail investor, be very careful, because most of them are part owner of Ella Lake. Don't allow them to cajole you into buying Ella Lake. You have to take with caution. We have seen how also the stockbrokers are also successfully push NGX up to as high as 76, 78. Today it has pulled back to almost 60 naira, 65 naira. That means when the operation is high, you must pay attention to it and take your point of that. For me, I'll take your profit from this stock any moment from now until they announce their right issue or public offer that as they plan to do. That to play with caution. Let's quickly go to the chart to look at few stocks on their momentum. Looking at the chart, where are they going from here? The first one I'll look at here, let's first look at the way we're seeing massage trying to cross 20 naira by force. Let's see the momentum massage. Is this still very strong? Let's look at the chart. The chart will tell us right away now if massage will still cross that. We'll get to know right now from the chart. looking at the different time frame and also under on 1 hour chart, the stock is already reading almost 9 naira 48 kobo right now. You can see where it is. And you can see that mark this is very short, it's very sharp. But the moment the volume that is driving this movement is very, very small. And that will tell you the power of what institutional investor. You know that in Mansard, we have about this ASA is as a foreign company that owns about this 62 or 64% of Mansard. You can see that the share, the volume outside Mansard is very, very small. You can see that, looking at the volume, you see that there's no volume on this stock. You can see it here. As we speak now, the volume is still very marginally below the average traded volume. You can see that it's below the black line. But you can see that MACD is also very sharp in terms of money. And money flow is reading almost 70. That for me, fund is entering the stock powerfully at this point. That means we have to pay attention to the stock. But if you look at the company performance in terms of your Q1 and Q2, I'll tell you that the result is the kind of departure of what we saw in 2024 to show the impact of what FS gain. That means we want to see real business in this company. Why that of NEM? We have seen that NEM have posted good number. You can see that NEM almost 14 naira. We are not surprised. And NEM will also go further when the third quarter result come. We want to go further. Also, for those that are taking advantage of this rally in Master, also know when to take profit, because until we see the regulator NICOM rolling out the plan forward for this calculation exercise for that industry, we also to put that word in perspective. Finally, let's look at what is happening in GT code. Now, why GT code? Oh, sorry. Let's look at what's happening in CWG. We are seeing profit taking in that stock. What does that portray for the stock? Is it the time for it to go and accumulate? I will tell you that anytime you see that a stock is trading above the T line, I think there is momentum there. But anything stock trading below the T line, even the market below it now, is a sign of weakness. I will tell you now, there's weakness in TWG as we speak. But if you look at the candlestick formation right now, this is what we call Odoji. The stock trying to resist decline. Buyers and sellers are fighting to take dominance. After this, what we might like to see in this kind of downtrend is an uptrend. We want to confirm at the end of the day. But volume so far also are relatively low compared to the volume that put the stock up at this beginning. But now volume is low. But I believe that Q3 of this company will like the story of the company. We have seen Q1, Q2, that trajectory as the sustained positive earning. It's also there. For me, a pullback on this stock is an opportunity for you to key into what? Into CWG. Don't fail to take advantage of the pullback in the stock. It's very, very important that you pay attention to it. It's very, very important. I've mentioned the gainers this morning, at the beginning. Also, we're seeing more gainers. We're seeing Owando among the gainers. We're seeing corner custodian also 5%. We're seeing UACN, International for Owando, NACO, and NASCOM. All of them coming up also. While on the other side, we're seeing that profit taking has hit UPDC. I was not surprised. Nigeria Buwell, we're seeing that also Northern Nigeria Flour Mill, Zenith Bank, Easy, and also for me, all this stock also will come back. But I look at market sentiment still remain mixed at this time. But this is just midday. Let's see what we do. But I believe that those banks that expect to pay to dividend, a pullback in them is also an advantage for you to take position, trade and come out in the short term. Thank you on this note and see you on Friday. Hopefully enjoy the rest of your trading day. Bye.